Hello all, I'm back with another option trade walkthrough video. This is a trade I took today on Wednesday, September 15th. This isn't the only trade I took today, but just know that my intention is to do trade walkthrough videos for trades that I think, offer some good teaching moments and, speaking points. So not necessarily always trades that I've made money on, but trades that, I've lost on too, that I've gotten stopped out of. So in this case, this is a trade that I made money on, but just know that I will be showing both because they're, things to educate about in both scenarios. So in this case, this is a trade I took on NVDA. I'm using the bar replay here, so it's actually not showing the daily bar right now. You can access bar replay up here if you're interested in that and just kind of backtrack bars, but I am unfortunately showing the 4-hour. I tried to use the bar replay for this too, but it wouldn't let me. So this 2 down, red 2 down is the 4-hour candle that is still forming because we are live in our trading day right now. But let's talk about the charting that I did. So you can see here, I do have this charted to potentially go to the upside, in which case I would have looked at the 229 strike calls. But I did favor this to be bearish. And the reason for that is, if you look here, we have a 2 up, an inside candle, and this is on the 4-hour chart. And then if, we're listening to the strat to get a 2-1-2 continuation, we would have to cross the high of this one inside candle, and then we target the top of the 2 up. So that's a very small move to, try to look for a good risk reward options contract for. So instead, I wasn't even using the 4-hour to mark the bullish setup. I was just using the daily here. So crossing that inside candle and getting a 3-1-2 bullish reversal. So I did favor this to the downside. So I was looking to cross the bottom of this inside candle 1 and target the bottom of this 2 up to get a 2-1-2 bearish reversal that you see did occur here. So we have a 2 up, an inside candle, and a 2 down. And then ultimately, this led into a daily play as well. So crossing the bottom half of this inside candle and having the 3-1-2. Now, I don't know if this is technically a reversal. I like to say, I guess, 3-1-2 bearish continuation. I'll get thoughts, from the community on that. Feel free to comment, but I know that the strat chart shows the 3-1-2s as reversal plays. So for this to be a bearish reversal, this 3 would have had to have been green. So a green 3, an inside candle, and then, the 2 down to be the bearish 3-1-2. But either way, I've seen this work out this way, so I call it a 3-1-2 bearish continuation in this case. And oh, my computer was just okay. So I targeted the 220 strikes, and the reason for that is, again, had the daily trigger that went off at the target of the 4-hour trigger. And now I want to take you to look at the chart, the time frame that I was looking at in order to make my exit and entry off of. So I was on the 1 minute. And again, the trading day is still going, so lots of 1 minute activity here. So let me get us into the early half of this day. Okay, so now this is probably a little clearer. We don't have as many lines. So we have this line here at 221.75 and this line here at 220.86. So 221.75, this is the 4-hour entry. 220.86, this is I believe this is the daily entry. Let me confirm that that's not the target. Yes, well, the daily entry is the target of the 4-hour. So 221.75 is the entry off the 4-hour. 220.86 is the target on the 4-hour and the entry off of the daily. In this case, I got in on this candle here. That is when it crossed over our entry. I had an alert, and then I held pretty easily, even though this formed a hammer. One piece of guidance is to wait until the candle fully forms before, you know, exiting out of a trade, even if it is a reversal. You have to be careful with that guidance, though, on the 1 minute. But I was confident enough to do this, given that we were below the, we weren't hovering and bouncing off of the entry. If you notice some bouncing activity off of the entry point, then that's probably a good sign to still get out. But I waited until this fully formed. This was a hammer, and ultimately within this hammer, we also crossed over the daily trigger and the point in which I decided to add more to this trade. Then we got another 2 down. Again, pretty easy hold. These white lines here, this is the average daily range for the previous 10 trading days, the lower half of that range, and this is the lower half of the average daily range for the previous 5 trading days. So we also got a cross into here. Now, this is where I was using these lines to determine, if I still hold, because we got a 2 down, but it was green. Technically, that's not a reversal, though. But knowing that we were kind of around this area here, which I treat these lines as support and resistance, so I saw this as some potential resistance that was being bounced off of. So you can see it wasn't breaking through here. We got a 3, we got an inside candle, and then a 2 up. That was ultimately kind of shooter-like, and you can see it did shoot, a bit below, but there is a top wick here. I ultimately decided to get out just based off of, the new parameters I've set for myself when taking profit, which is taking profit at 10, 15, 20%. Sometimes trades will just shoot up, to higher percentages before that. But those are the profit levels I look to take profit at, and just be satisfied with the trade in that regard. If I had a little more confidence in this and wasn't seeing this as like kind of bounce off support, I might have held through this because it's shooter like, and I ultimately likely would have gotten out on this 2 up here, which is a stronger reversal than this. As you can see, again, shooter like, it did go down. It did, try to go back up and kind of failed 2 up. But this, a 2 down green hammer to a 2 up, that's a strong reversal. And granted, I am on a 1 minute chart, but that's also how I was trading this on the 1 minute time frame. So paying attention to those reversals. So I would have gotten out here, and that very likely would have been the same. So regardless, I got out on this first reversal and entering here at around 9:33 and exiting at 9:40. That was a 21 to 22% gain. I don't remember exactly. It was around, it was like 21 point something percent gain. So if we go and just take a look on how the rest of the day is playing out with this so far, looks like we got a bounce, went up, came back down, went a little lower, bounced back up, came back down. We did break the orb, so you see that little bit of red here. So as a reminder, if you've seen my indicators, trading view indicators and timeframes video, the orb is a strategy I use where this plots the lowest price that the stock trades at in the first 30 minutes of the day and the highest price. And you can actually adjust that time frame. I use the first 30 minutes of the day. And then it colors it red or green if it breaks to the downside or upside. So in this case, it broke to the downside a bit here and bounced up, went down, bounced up again, and we're in another bounce. So the 220 put is what I got. And you can see here, potentially could have had higher profit here, but would have had to hold through a lot and exited around 11:48. So if you are interested, you can use higher time frames to make those decisions instead. So let's take a look at a higher time frame. So this is the 12 minute. I got in and out all within the span of this first candle here. But that 1148 where it went down, let's see what that would have looked like. So a 3, so yeah, this would have been a 312. Probably would have gotten out. Yeah, so I don't know if you were holding, it's Wednesday right now. So if you had confidence that you'd eventually get past this, dip below the strike price uh, by Friday or before Friday, you might just hold based off of this original entry point. So in this case, it has tested going above that entry point again for the 4 hour, but it has bounced off each time. And you can see we're getting a bit of a shooter red 2 up on the 12-minute. So I like the quick scalps. And again, regardless of if there's potential more magnitude in the trade, I'll get out on the reversal on the lower time frames easily if I'm at one of my, uh, target percentage gains. So in this case, 21, 22%. Very satisfied with that. So thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave any questions or comments you have in the comment section, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you all.